Last night, this happened. I was doing a team time trial with LEQP, L'Equipe Provence, one of the teams that I race with, and it was all going swimmingly on RGV, but then with about 6 kilometers left to go, my legs just went. So in order to protect the team's position in terms of the competition, because it's the WTRL TTT competition that runs every week on a Thursday, I decided to tell everybody else in the group that my legs were gone, I was dropping back, and let them continue so that I didn't hold the team back. But my question is, why did it happen? So why did it happen? I think we can probably work it out. Let's have a look at some statistics. So this is intervals.icu. This is my account. This is what I use to sort of monitor my progress when I'm Zwifting and cycling. And you can see here, if I go back a year, and believe it or not, it's just about a year since I started Zwifting. You can see that back then my fitness, which is this number here at the top, was around 15. And I started to take indoor cycling seriously, and you can see this blue line here, if you follow it, it's increasing, it's increasing, it's increasing. Just to explain what you're seeing, the blue line is fitness. So this is basically this line here, and you can see how it increased the more I cycled, which makes perfect sense. The purple dots are every time I set a new personal best for a power output. And these little red dots here that you can see occasionally is whereabouts a new FTP was set. And you can see at the bottom whereabouts it tells you those statistics. And then on the blue line, you can see there's some additional red dots, and that's basically whereabouts I've recorded every time I've done a race. So you can see I've done lots of racing over the past year. So as we go through October and into November, you can see that I've been doing lots of racing. You can see that my form is in this optimal area here, which is green. And generally speaking, it stayed somewhere around green or grey zone for pretty much most of the time until we get to here whereabouts it peaked, which is the end of February. So sort of ties in with the end of, winter cycling season in the UK. But then what we can see is that over the past 4 or 5 months, my fitness has declined a bit. So to start with, not too bad. There was a little bit of a drop here, which was a holiday and some time working away. And then you can see that this here is sort of maintained, actually went up a little bit better till about here. And then on the 6th of May, it started to drop off. And as we get through May, we can see by the 17th, I did a little spurt here on the 20th to the 23rd. But then from there on in, it's dropped and it's dropped and it's dropped. And here we are for basically last night's race. And my fitness is down to 40. And that's from a high of about 74. So, and also you can see that my training hasn't been in the area whereabouts it needed to be. There's a couple of times it's got into optimal, but really over the past few months, it's dropped and dropped and dropped. So I guess this is where statistics can really help you. You can start to analyze and understand, why your performance might be improving or why it might be going the other way, let's say. So the question is, why did my fitness drop off after May until we got to August? Well, again, relatively easy to explain. So what actually happened? Well, in May, there was a couple of things that basically took a whole week out of the middle of May. There was a work trip that I had to go to, and then I went motorbiking with some friends down in Somerset. In June, there was a couple of weekends away, and I also did the London to Brighton cycle ride. Now you'd think that'd be a workout, but it wasn't. And as my wife's just reminded me, it was hardly a workout because we stopped and had a burger halfway round. So really, probably just more of a cycle ride. In July, we had Wimbledon, which was fantastic if you ever get the opportunity to do it. But, nice food, not very much exercise. I mean, it was very hot, but, so I basically, perspired a lot. But other than that, really, no exercise as such. Immediately after, my daughter's graduation was up in Manchester, so we went up for that, and then we went out for a nice meal, so, more calories, less exercise. And then my mum came to stay for a few days, so there was a lot less cycling over that period. Again, we went out for meals and what have you. And then August, well, almost a write-off from a cycling point of view. We went to the Why Not Festival, which is a music festival held in the Peak District. Great festival, would thoroughly recommend it, but not great for cycling. And then we went on holiday to Cornwall, where we did lots of walking, but no cycling whatsoever, despite my best intentions to do some cycling when we got there. But we ended up having a lovely time, relaxing, eating lots of Cornish pasties, lots of ice creams, daily ice creams, I might add, because that's a rule when you're on holiday in Cornwall. You've got at least one ice cream a day, and cream teas. You get the idea. So essentially, life got in the way, or as my wife would correct me on this, we had a lovely time during the summer. But it's had that impact on my fitness. So the question is, what to do about it? Well, first off, I'm going to do the Ecro Chasing Red Tour series. So this starts tonight as I'm recording this, and I will be in the third slot at 18:30. But as you can see, if we have a look at the calendar over the next few weeks for this particular tour, they're all run on a Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So a bit of rest time in between. I'm not planning on taking the rest time though. I need to get my fitness up. So let's have a look at what they are, these races. We start with Three Sisters, 48 kilometers, but it's a very hilly route. So for me, climbing is definitely not my strong suit, but in terms of a workout, it's going to be great. And then we move on to the Mercury Pretzels, 79 kilometers, Tour of Fire and Ice, 28 kilometers, 53 kilometers on the 2022 Bambino Fondo. And then we've got the Four Horsemen, which is an 89 kilometer, very hilly route, as you can see here. And then we've got another 55 kilometers, a 43, another 55, a 46 to finish off on It's a Party. So that is a good start, I think, to getting some fitness back over the next couple of weeks. But what else am I going to do? Well, even though I had my disaster last night in the WTRL team time trials, we're not going to shy away from that. So assuming the team will have me back, if not, I might have to find another team who, hopefully hasn't watched this video and realizes just, how unfit I am. But assuming they have me back, then there's a few events coming. So basically it's a weekly Thursday night event. So this ties in quite nicely because Ecro is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is on a Thursday. And you can see here all of the races that are coming up over the coming weeks. So next week we've got the Rotopia Figure 8 Reverse, which is a 29.9 kilometer with about 250 meters of climbing, and then we'll go to Douce France in September, followed by the Hilly Route Reverse, which has got a bit more climbing in it, and so on and so forth. So we're looking at Ecro on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we're looking at WTRL on Thursday. But what else could I do? Every week, Rhino Racing, another team within Zwift for those of you that don't know, have organised through the Ladder Racing website a 2-up TT. So that's basically a 2-man team time trial. And essentially you can create your own team, you find somebody to ride with, and then you do a 2-man team time trial. Last week it was Innsbrucking with the infamous leg snapper. We did that twice. The second leg snapper was just, horrific, as it always is. And you can imagine that this is a good workout. So I did that on Tuesday last week, and I feel like we might be doing another one of those each week as we go forwards. So we've got Tuesday for 2-man TT, we've got Thursday for 4-man TTT, and we've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday for Ecro. Well, of course, there is the Z Racing series for September. Could do that. So let's have a quick look on Zwift Insider, and you can see here that we've got the Rolling with Envy Z Racing series details. It's the most popular platform for ongoing race series on Zwift, and there's 5 stages of this time round. So we've got 2 bridges loop, 21 kilometers over 3 laps, 243 meters of climbing. Then we've got Breakfast Crits and Grits, which is actually one of my favorite courses, if I'm honest. I have no idea why it is, but I do really enjoy doing that one. Jurassic Coast over 20 kilometers, and then we've got Queen's Highway After Party, which has got some climbing in it, and then Triple Twist to finish off. So we could potentially do that on a Monday, I suppose. Monday's free, right? In reality, I expect that I'll probably do a mixture of these things. So definitely the Acro series, and almost certainly one or other or both of the team time trial events, the 2-man or the WTRL team event. If I'm feeling strong in that week, maybe I'll do a Z Racing. More likely though, on those rest days, if you like, I'll probably do some Zone 2 and actually have a complete rest day at least once a week. Try to be sensible, get my fueling right, but all of this was pretty much a similar approach to what I took last year when my fitness started to improve. So there, we have a plan, and for me it's all about having a plan that I can work to going forwards, and I am looking forward to it. I've had a lovely summer. I've done actually a fair bit of cycling over the summer. It's not like I've been idle, but obviously not enough to maintain my fitness at the level of where it was before. And I suppose I'm another year older, so that maybe feeds into it a little bit, but you know, I'm not going to start making excuses, but not just yet. Anyway, so if you subscribe to the channel, you'll get notifications because I'll keep you updated on my progress over the coming weeks. Let's see how we go. When I weighed myself this morning, I was 83.4 kilos, which is about 5 kilos heavier than I've been at my peak, shall we say. So that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to getting down. I'll take you through some of the fueling that I've done and what I use during races and how I go about doing that. When I'm, you know, taking it seriously, like we're going to be doing over the next few weeks. And there's a new thing on YouTube, which if you have a look at the bottom of this video, you might see, if you're watching this video within the first 7 days of it coming out, that's called Hype This Video. So you can like the video or you can hype the video, and hyping the video apparently promotes it even further. So if you enjoyed the video and you think other people might enjoy watching it, then hype me, I suppose, is probably what you would say. Well, I don't know. Anyway, thank you very much for watching as always, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Ride on!